So yeah, the Indiana Fever. The Indiana Fever have just signed Chloe Bibby to her rest season contract. Why is it? And thank God the Indiana Fever made this decision. I was getting really scared. I was getting really, really scared that the Fever just weren't going to sign her.
The Indiana Fever just signed a player who did the impossible. She scored more points in 13 minutes than one of the team's veteran starters has scored all season. After just 2 games on a temporary hardship contract, the Fever tore it up and locked down Australian forward Chloe Bibby for the rest of the year. But this wasn't just a smart signing, it was a cold-blooded message, and it was aimed directly at another player on the roster whose job is now officially on the line. This is the story of how a 24-minute performance didn't just win one player a contract, it exposed a massive failure and signaled a ruthless new chapter for the entire franchise.
And then Chloe Bibby, that stretch 4 that they've been missing, who was just signed for the rest of the season. Meaning, Chloe Bibby's audition went really well for the Indiana Fever, clearly. There you see the graphic. She was signed rest of the season contract. She was on a 7-day contract. She has produced in limited minutes for the team. I mean, playing her role, 24 minutes, 18 points in the 24 minutes, 4 of 8 from beyond the arc. She does not hesitate to shoot the ball.
Oh, what does that mean for Breonna Turner? Because I haven't seen her play not one game. She just been taking up space. Look, this all I'm gonna say. You need young, fresh legs. You know what I'm saying? People you can really use. There's no point of somebody sitting on a bench that you can't use. I understand her and Stephanie White in the organization, they have some type of relationship, but you can only keep a certain amount of players. So at the end of the day, what are we really doing? You hear me? Can she help the team right now or no?
This whole story started not with a bang, but with a bandage. The Fever were dealing with injuries and needed a temporary body to fill a roster spot, so they brought in Chloe Bibby on a 7-day hardship contract. She wasn't a marquee name or high-profile draft pick. She was supposed to be a short-term patch, an emergency fill-in. But in her very first game against the Chicago Sky, she stepped onto the court and immediately looked like she belonged, confidently scoring 8 points in just 11 minutes of play. It was a solid debut, but what happened next against the Phoenix Mercury is what forced management's hand.
I think this is the difference we're seeing right now between this and that hardship situation. They didn't have to let her go and then wait a certain amount of time. They made a decision to go ahead and just pull the trigger and bring her in for the rest of the year. I think it's a great look for the Indiana Fever. I also think it's a bit of an indictment on the Indiana Fever front office off-season because their 2 best moves look like they've been made during the year. Aari McDonald, Chloe Bibby.
Only took you a couple games to make a great impression, man. I already saw you balling on the Valkyries, man, so it's no surprise that the Fever front office did the right thing and signed you to the rest of the season, man. Looking forward to that nice clean jump shot to keep cashing them threes, man. Indiana Fever.
In only 13 minutes, Bibby unleashed another 10 points, knocking down clutch three-pointers like she'd been the team's go-to shooter for years. In 2 games, a tiny sample size, she had put up 18 points on a scorching 50% shooting from beyond the arc. She was fearless, perpetually shot-ready, and played with an unnerving confidence that the team had been sorely missing. Her 2-game audition was over, and she hadn't just passed. She had stolen the entire show, leaving the front office with no choice but to tear up her temporary deal and lock her down before another team could.
And honestly, it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer to get her in, man, because my favorite type of players, honestly, my favorite type of players are the 3-and-D players, man. They are so essential to championship teams, to great defenses, to punishing players on turnovers. Those 3-and-D type of players, yeah, those are the main ones that can help you with that.
Signing Chloe Bibby, that's a big plus because she gonna give you everything. She been giving you everything that you've been missing. A sharpshooter, defensive minded, And she's a team player. She's selfless. That's the main thing that stands out to me when it comes to Chloe Bibby. She aggressive. She don't back down. Yeah, she ready. She good to go. Great sign to Indiana Fever. I am grateful and I am blessed.
But this wasn't just about a player getting hot for a couple of games. The Fever didn't sign Chloe Bibby because of a lucky streak. They signed her because she is the exact custom-built puzzle piece they have been desperately searching for. Head coach Stephanie White said it herself, stating that Bibby is a stretch 4, a type of player they simply haven't had. For those who don't know, a stretch 4 is a forward who has the size to play inside, but the shooting ability to live on the three-point line. This single skill completely warps a defense.
Finally played a fast-paced game. They have Bibby on the team, which honestly makes a big difference in spacing out the floor. Chloe Bibby went in and she did what they brought her to do. She immediately took a pull-up 3, and later on she spot up, sunk a 3. She ended up coming away with 10 points for the night. She was also impactful defensively, coming away with a steal.
It pulls the opponent's biggest defenders away from the basket, unclogging the paint, and creating wide-open driving lanes for guards. For a team built around the generational offensive talent of Caitlin Clark, having a player like Bibby on the floor isn't a luxury, it's a strategic necessity. The Fever management watched her for less than half an hour of game time, and saw the entire future of their offense unlock right before their eyes. She wasn't just scoring points, she was creating space, the most valuable currency in modern basketball.
And with Bibby, I mean, she's a stretch 4 and she's a shooter, and we haven't had that. And so when all else fails, just pick and pop. You know, if something happens, just pick and pop. And she's a high IQ player. She understands, how to play, how to make plays. She's shot ready every time, and that's important. And it's also important that our passes are on time, on target to someone who's shot ready all the time. And I think we've been doing a better job with that.
However, in the cutthroat world of professional sports, for every new star that unexpectedly rises, another one risks being cast into darkness. Chloe Bibby's brilliant and sudden arrival has inadvertently exposed a massive, glaring problem on the Fever's roster, and her name is Brianna Turner. When Indiana traded for Turner in the offseason, the move was celebrated. She was supposed to be a defensive anchor, a veteran presence, and a two-time all-defensive player who would bring toughness and experience to a young team. Instead, her tenure in Indiana has been an unmitigated disaster. Through 14 games this season, Turner is averaging a shocking 0.4 points and 0.9 rebounds per game. The statistical contrast is absolutely devastating. Chloe Bibby scored more points in her first 13 minutes of action as a Fever player than Brianna Turner has scored all season long.
Chloe Bibby is 6'2", 194. Brianna Turner is 6'3", 175. All right, now Bibby is what you want to call a stretch 4. This is from Stephanie White's very own mouth. Quote, she's a stretch 4, she's a shooter. We haven't had that, Fever coach Stephanie White said. So when all else fails, just pick and pop. Yeah, she's a high IQ player. Well, she is also, guys, she can play guard and forward.
This single roster move reveals something much deeper about the Indiana Fever. This is no longer the same franchise that spent years languishing at the bottom of the standings, patiently rebuilding and collecting draft picks while preaching about the future. This is a new era, defined by a ruthless and urgent desire to win. The decision to lock in Bibby, effectively signaling the end for a high-profile acquisition like Turner, is a stunning display of calculated efficiency.
Chloe Bibby is an archetype that will help them get wins. She's not the most talented player in the world overall, but at the same time, she's someone who is going to fit in a role, play a role, and do exactly what's needed to do to help the team win, and she has shown that she can do that.
The old Fever might have given Turner more time, hoping she'd eventually find her rhythm out of loyalty or misplaced optimism. But this new front office, armed with a once-in-a-generation superstar in Caitlin Clark, understands that championship windows are fleeting and can slam shut without warning. They are no longer making decisions based on sentiment or past reputations. They are making them based on cold, hard production. The message sent to the rest of the league is clear. The rebuild is over. The time to win is now, and anyone who can't contribute to that singular mission is immediately considered disposable.
Once again, the Fever do the right thing and sign Chloe Bibby to the rest of this season. It was just a no-brainer move, man. Chloe is a baller. Her jump shot is amazing. Her form is amazing. You can never have enough shooters on the team. Clark could shoot the three. Kelsey could shoot the three. Lexi could shoot the three. Sophie could shoot the three. Chloe could shoot the three.
Ultimately, this signing, like every major decision the Fever make, is all about one person, Caitlin Clark. While Clark has been sidelined with an injury, the front office has been working tirelessly to build a fortress around her for her much-anticipated return, and Chloe Bibby is the newest, most important turret on that fortress. Imagine the Fever's offense at full strength. When Clark comes back, healthy and ready to dominate, opposing defenses will face an impossible, game-breaking choice. If they collapse their defense to stop Clark's legendary deep threes, she can now kick the ball out to Bibby, a proven 50% shooter from distance waiting on the wing. If they stay attached to Bibby on the perimeter, it gives Clark all the space she needs to drive, create for others, and surgically dismantle the defense. Bibby isn't just another player, she's a force multiplier. She makes every single one of her teammates more dangerous simply by being on the floor. This wasn't just a good signing for today, it was a genius-level move to maximize the potential of their franchise cornerstone for years to come.
That Chloe Bibby, after signing her 7-day contract with the Indiana Fever, and then she did travel with the team to Dallas, but today was like day 7, she has now signed a rest-of-the-year contract. They like what she's doing for the Fever. She's adding good minutes. She's got good quality minutes. She's got good production while she's in. So Chloe Bibby will be with the Indiana Fever for the rest of the season. They don't have to make any other moves, but they can. But we don't know if they will or not, obviously.
This aggressive new standard isn't just felt inside the team, it's being celebrated by the people who matter most, the fans. Indiana is a basketball state with one of the most knowledgeable fan bases in the world. They've been starved for a winner, patiently supporting a team through years of painful rebuilding. A move like the Bibby signing is a direct reward for their loyalty. It shows them that the front office is no longer just selling hope for the future. They are making smart tactical moves to win today. The energy that Caitlin Clark brought to the city was electric, but it's moves like this that sustain it. Fans recognize a high IQ basketball decision when they see one, and signing a perfect fit stretch 4 is exactly that. It validates their belief that this franchise is finally being run like a serious contender, and it turns their simmering hope into a roaring fire of expectation. And that fire is now catching the attention of the entire league. The days of opposing teams circling their game against the Indiana Fever as a guaranteed win are officially over. This signing is a shot across the bow to every other front office in the WNBA. It signals that Indiana is not just the Caitlin Clark show. They are building a deep, versatile, and dangerous roster around her. They are finding international talent like Bibby, who helped Australia win a gold medal, and integrating them seamlessly. Other teams had their chance to notice Bibby, but Indiana's decisive action shows a new level of scouting and aggression. It tells the rest of the league that the Fever are no longer a rebuilding project. So as the Indiana Fever move forward, one small, seemingly minor signing has created massive, franchise-altering ripples. They've added a perfect strategic weapon in Chloe Bibby, instantly upgraded their offense, and in the process, created an intense internal competition that puts everyone on notice. But the move also sent a chilling message to the rest of their own roster. The question that now hangs over this team is whether Chloe Bibby is the final, missing piece to Indiana's championship puzzle, or if her signing is merely the first of many cold-blooded moves to come. For every player in that locker room, the standard has been irrevocably set. Perform at the highest level, or you will be replaced without hesitation. The Indiana Fever are done waiting, they are done hoping, and they are done being patient. They are here to win, and the rest of the